Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Tuesday, and all of our guests today brought to you by Delaney's OK Tire in Langley. Just before we get to Ian Furness, I'll just mention this about the Delaney's OK Tire in Langley inbox. Delaney's is all over the place today. No shortage of people criticizing JT Miller for his defensive play on the winning goal, the Carolina winning goal in overtime. I have a hard time criticizing JT Miller.
Well, yeah, him and Hughes went to the one guy together, and behind him was Aho, and Aho is the one that scored the goal because he was wide open.
Joining us now from Seattle, KGR Sports Radio and the Kraken Hockey Network, our friend Ian Furness. Ian, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm good, fellas. I'm trying to figure out how you can criticize a guy in a 3-on-3 overtime situation, but okay. Welcome to Vancouver, right?
Well, yeah, there is a lot of space out there, and certainly room for defensive mistakes. Okay, Seahawks, 31-10. They get crushed by the Buffalo Bills. And, you know, Ian, I'm listening to that game on radio, okay? I'm listening to the game up here on 650, our friends at Sportsnet. And I'm listening, and all I can hear is every time Buffalo does something, a massive cheer goes up. It sounded like there were more Bills fans than Seahawks fans, and I'm seeing a lot of this on Twitter. What happened to home field advantage? Because it was so big back in the day for the Seattle Seahawks. Do you have any theory on that? Are you noticing the same sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's the home field advantage has gone away, and I'll get to the crowd in a second. Just in terms of the wins and losses, they're 15-15 in their last 30 with fans in the stands. So that's since 2021. So they're 500 at home, and they're a better road team on the road in that time because they've been to the playoffs a couple of years, right? So that part's kind of curious. The loud opposing fans sometimes, depends on where, guys, you guys have done games, where the crowd mics are. I'm going to guess it was about 85-15 at the most, like I don't think there was more than 10 or 15% Buffalo fans in there, but they're down below. Right. And so there aren't crowd mics down there because the people that sell their tickets, a lot of them are corporate seats or, the high price season ticket holders. They sell their seats and that's what they do. And so then, we've seen that a lot. We saw it with Pittsburgh. Buffalo was a different one. We see it with Pittsburgh. They travel well. Dallas, they travel well. San Francisco, etc. This was a new one because Buffalo's, frankly, a long way away. And it was odd. I mean, it's also what Seattle fans have done to opposing, stadiums for years and years, although maybe not as much anymore.
Yeah, I guess that's what took me by surprise was the distance between Buffalo and Seattle. I didn't realize Bills fans traveled that well. Okay, meanwhile, as for the game, sloppiness, arguments, turnovers, was that as tough a loss as the Seahawks have suffered this year? And does Mike Macdonald have control of his players, Ian?
All right, let's see. Let's start with the second part. The fight with Reed and Hall, that happens. I mean, I don't know how many times I saw it happen over the years with the Pete Carroll teams and with the the Shermans of the world, guys like that. And Reed's a team leader. Hall made a really dumb play, and he, and Reed got in his face. Hall tried to bark back, and by the end, really within a few minutes, it had calmed down. Leslie Frazier, who's kind of a longtime NFL coach and a confidant, he's an analyst, I guess they call him. He kind of separated him and talked to him. So that I don't put a lot of stock in that. That happens almost every NFL game, depends on where it is. The game itself, Donnie, like Seattle's, I don't know if he's lost control or what the situation is. They probably are what they are right now. They're probably a 500 team. I thought they'd be a little bit better because I thought the offensive line would be better, but the offensive line isn't better. The center is not well. He's not doing good. They can't find a right guard. The right tackle is right tackle number 4 if you're looking at a depth chart back in the spring in Mike Jarrell. The left guard is just okay in Laken Tomlinson, and the left tackle, Charles Cross, is okay, but not playing like a top 10 draft pick of 3 years ago. So to me, really, it starts there. Defensively, I don't know. They've got some issues still up front. They had a couple passengers like Draymond Jones that aren't doing anything. So I think they are who they are. They're a 500 team. When they've played, okay teams. I mean, the Giants loss is the one that really kind of sticks to them, I think, because if you win that game, you're 5-3 right now, and you feel probably a whole lot different because, okay, who are your losses to? Well, you lost to San Francisco, you lost to Buffalo. I mean, those are two really good teams, elite teams, so to speak, along the way, and you can kind of live with that, right? But the fact they lost to the Giants hurts, but I think that's who they are. I think they're a 500 football team. I think they're I thought they'd be better, but I think they're probably a 9-8 team when it's all said and done, or an 8-9 team.
Ian, what's happening in the red zone? They're getting down there deep and big mistakes. You saw the snap over Gino's head, 20 yards. What's happening when they get down there? Is it just execution?
Yeah, this is comedy of errors, Dolly. It was just a total comedy of errors. I mean, the snap over Gino's head, the guy hasn't had a bad snap all year. He waits till then to send it, 30 yards over his head. That was inexplicable, and that had nothing to do with the ball being wet or anything. It was it just happened, right? So, and then just bad luck. Gino the center steps on Gino's foot as he's going to go. Looked like there's going to be a bootleg, we think. So he's going to kind of roll out a little bit, and the center was going to pull, and so it just was bad luck. And they've got to be better. They missed DK Metcalf. Make no mistake, they missed DK Metcalf a ton in that game. He changes everything because even if he's not catching balls, he takes so much attention away from the other guys. Tyler Lockett had one catch for 9 yards. Smith and Jigba had some yards, like 69 or so, and when it was all said and done, those yards meant nothing because most of them were in garbage time, and Jake Bobo had one catch. So they really missed DK Metcalf. I think we saw how important he is to the offense. People want to talk all the time. Is he worth the money? Is he worth this? I think you saw on Sunday he's worth it because even if he's not catching a ball, he's making everybody else better. He's making an impact on the game.
All right, let's go to your hockey club. They started out hot. Now 3 straight losses on home ice. What is it with home ice? I don't think they've been really good on home ice, Ian, since day one.
No, they haven't been, Rick. Like, they haven't been. It's weird. Like, now, they did get a loser point in there. Do we still count that as a loss? I think it's still good, right? You get a loser point.
Canucks do.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, much like the Canucks, we got hurricaned on Saturday.
Yeah,
like
it's
by
a good
that
team.
Yeah, they're a really good You know what? I think, what's interesting, guys? I don't know what your thoughts are. I watched that game last night, and after watching our game on Saturday, obviously in person there, and like, there's something to be said about a good coach who is given the time to implement what he wants to do. Guys know what the system is. They buy in. They all play the same way. They have high-end talent. There's no doubt about that. They've got high-end guys. But, like, the Rod Brindamore system, I mean, they just know what they're doing. They do it so well. Like, they suffocated Seattle on Saturday. It was kind of Calgary-like, and I don't want to put Ryan Huska in that same category as Brindamore, but, like, Seattle wants to skate. They want to get up and down the ice a little bit, and when teams slow them down, they have some problems. And that happened again on Saturday. The craziest number was shot attempts were 94. They had 94 shot attempts in Carolina.
What?
DeCord kept them in the game. I don't know I think the actual shot on goal total was like in the mid-30s, but DeCord kept them in the game. The craziest thing is, kind of like your game last night, like, it was a 2-0 game. Jared McCann missed a breakaway shorthanded earlier in the game. Then he scored a breakaway later in the third period, made it a 2-1 game. They're back in it, and they started pressing. I started tilting, and then Seth Jarvis cherry-picked one and got a breakaway and put it away. So, it was they've played really good teams. Like, our joke down here is like, when do we see, like, I don't know, San Jose, Anaheim, the Blackhawks, somebody like that? I'm not giving them a pass, totally, guys. I'm not giving them a free pass. But they've played really good teams. Yeah. Like, they've beat the teams they probably should. They lost to Winnipeg in overtime. That was a good loser point. Yeah. Like, it was almost, honestly, exactly like your guys last night. 2-goal deficit, third period, get a couple goals, and then you get the point. You lose in overtime, but you know what? You're happy at that point. Saturday was disappointing. Home ice has not been good and kind to them. They're a better road team over the last, really since the start of the franchise, which is odd because the place is great. It's rocking. It's always full. But they got a tough one. They start a 5-game trip tonight. They're in Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Boston, and then on to Colorado. So it's a tough 5-game stretch coming up.
Okay, and as we conclude the interview, Ian, I know you wanted to talk about the Washington Huskies.
Oh, always. Did you see them lose again on Saturday? Is that what you wanted to mention?
A very good Indiana team. I'm having some fun here. I see the hoodie, Washington State.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I don't follow college football all that closely.
We're ranked 22 ranked.
22nd in the nation. You must be so proud right now.
Well, with for a homeless team like ourselves, the Pac-2 is looking good. Well, one of the Pac-2 is we're going to probably finish 11-1 and have nothing to show and have nothing to show for it. Like, that's the worst part about it. They can finish 11-1 and they're going to go to like the Holiday Bowl or the Alamo Bowl, because I don't think they'll be one of the 12 teams in the playoffs. Boise State will get that spot. That's the one loss for Wazoo, but. Yeah, it's weird with Washington. A lot of excuses down here. Is our boy Farhan listening right now? Because I know that
watches every day.
A lot of excuses. I heard this. This is my favorite excuse. You guys will like this one. Washington has 51 new players. Wazoo's got 49. Wazoo's got 49.
Okay.
And if you go around the country with the portal and all the way college football works now. If you find a team with less than 40 new players, I'll be shocked. Yes, It's a new coach, but wasn't this new coach, Jed Fish, the be all to end all? He took Arizona to the promised land last year. So yeah, it's a rough go down here for the Huskies. So woof woof all your way to a losing season, hopefully. So
Well, congratulations on being ranked 22nd, your Cougars. And also, now you want to send congratulations to Tyler Myers playing his 1,000th NHL game.
I do. I want to listen. When you get to 1,000 games, that is saying something. Congratulations, Tyler Myers. Out of those 1,000 games, how many guys did you hit from behind? I don't know. Probably at least 999. No, I kid. Man, the Tyler Myers, Ian Furness, Canuck fans coming at me thing. I used to want to come up and see you guys do the show in person up there. I'm afraid for my safety up there right now with you guys.
You should be.
Ian,
I know.
What would Vancouver fans ever do? They're always well behaved. Nothing could ever happen to you up here. Come on.
Yeah.
Let me think. 2011. What? Yeah. No, nothing.
You forgot 94.
You know what gets me going, guys? Like you guys know I grew up a Canucks fan. You know that, and you bait me and you put me in these positions, and now all of a sudden they're gonna. I don't even want to look at Twitter for the next 4 hours because your guys will be coming at me. I will say this, check TV. These guys need a raise. They have a loyal and really really fanatical following. So whatever you're doing up there, you're doing it well because they come at me hard every week.
I agree with every word you said there. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Ian. Appreciate it, buddy.
See you, boys.